Good morning, CTN. This is our crew. This is Arlo. But don't mute out your videos yet, my friends. Mary and Michael and Alex, this is the first chance we get to share Arlo with the world. So,
yay!
Very exciting. And thank you to CTN and everybody for having us, and all the people at Netflix who made this work out. It's such a cool way to launch. And we're very excited because today we get to show music for the first time. And for those of you who have seen the image of Arlo or just curious, it's a musical. And these super talented folks with me who will be joining us in a conversation are all super musically inclined and have helped us push this movie into a territory that I think is very exciting and sort of fresh and new and cool. So I'll introduce you guys now, and then we can jump back in after I show the stuff and show the clip. But Alex Geringas over here is a longtime friend and composer and my songwriting buddy.
Hello, everyone.
So, Alex and I wrote all of these songs together. We've been writing songs for over 3 years, I think. And even before this was at Netflix, Alex and I had started discussing what it would look like musically. And so it's finally here. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. We've been working 3 years, like from the beginning of the first song on it. And now we get to share it with the world. Crazy.
Yeah. And Michael J. Woodard.
Hello, everybody. I love you too, Ron.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Yes.
That's okay.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you, guys. I love y'all, everybody.
Michael is Arlo. Some of you might know him from American Idol. You'll get to hear both of these talented singers in a minute. And then Mary Lambert, who plays Birdie. Hi, Mary. Mary. I'll give you a little more, we can give a little more background on Mary, but for those of you who don't know Mary, she's also a singer, an artist, and poet, songwriter, and she lends her voice and talents to Birdie. And yeah, and I think from here, maybe why don't we disappear into sharing some stuff, and then we'll play a clip, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about music. And I've got a few little questions and stuff just to keep us going. And then I think they're gonna have some, like there's Q&A, so I don't know how that works, but it looks like there's a Q&A down there. So I'm sure folks, if you're folks at home, if you get curious about something and you wanna ask, we'll answer some questions at the end. So we'd love to do that. So now, I think without further ado, I'll jump into sharing my screen and getting my PowerPoint going and optimizing all my things. Please forgive me if I mess this stuff up because I'm not the expert Zoomer. You'd think after however almost like a year of this, I would be better at this. Play from the start. Okay, good morning. Arlo the Alligator Boy. So I'm Ryan Crego. I am the creator of Arlo. It's a project that's been around for almost a decade now, which is a trip to think about. My career, for the folks, our animation folks who are curious, I started out as a production assistant at DreamWorks Animation Features back in the day, before there even was a TV. They did some TV back then, but I was a production assistant, and then I studied my ass off and became a board artist. And then I worked in features for about 8 or 9 years at DreamWorks on a number of movies. Awesome time working on a lot of the Shrek stuff and Puss in Boots and things like that, and Kung Fu Panda, where I met Melissa Cobb, who's now more or less running the kids and family and animation at Netflix. Awesome team, awesome place to grow up and kind of learn. And then I got into TV and went to Nickelodeon and directed Sanjay and Craig, and then I started doing a bunch of other development and things. And so all of the time that I was doing all these projects, Arlo had kind of come out as like just in sketches and in discussions and you know, dreams. And then when I was finishing up Home Adventures with Tip and O, which is on Netflix original for DreamWorks, I started thinking about what was next, and this was what I wanted to do really, really badly. But I because I had a feature background, I really wanted to do feature, but also because I was in series, I thought like maybe it should be a series. And bouncing the two around, ping ponging, I was like, well, shoot, I saved myself. I'm not going to swear today. And I said, darn it, this could be both. And so I pitched, I put together the movie and the series pitch and brought it to Netflix and pitched this musical. And I'm very, very proud of what we've accomplished. So this is the poster, which just came out, and it's super beautiful. Very, very, I love it. It's 2D, this whole thing. This whole project is trying to find some place where we could straddle the line between feature and series and do it effortlessly and make the transition from a movie into a series something that could really work, but not make the movie feel like anything less than a 2D animated feature. And that's what we really believe it is. That's what you'll see in a minute. So I wish I could, I know a ton of our crew is here, and I wish I could like honor every single person. But I do want to just say really quick, Israel Sanchez, our art director, and his crew have just made this thing look so beautiful. So the work that you'll see today, all of you, I love that team. Also Titmouse, we are making the entire movie at Titmouse. You know, it's not just like a Netflix project where we're, you know, having Titmouse for the animation. Like we did everything at Titmouse. We've been living at Titmouse for the last couple of years, and it's been an awesome home and a great environment to realize like what's possible in the world of using Flash. And then Blake Lemons, who is our supervising producer and is also the co-EP on series. Love that guy, and he's put a ton of his heart and soul into helping us find a way to bridge the gap from movie to series. So what I'll show you now is a brief little bit of the movie and kind of show you what it's all about. And then I'll show you a clip of our very first song and launch that into the world, which I'm super excited about. It's called Follow Me Home, and it's got Michael and Mary singing together, and it's beautiful. And then we'll get into some discussion, and then you feel free to ask questions, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. So Arlo, the Alligator Boy. Let me get into storytelling mode. This is our movie. It starts, and most of what you're going to see, by the way, these are actually screenshots from screen grabs from the movie, majority of them, and also work in progress, just so you know. So like some stuff is not completely finished, but it's getting there. So our movie starts in the sewers in New York City, and the camera's drifting down to this, here like a little crying baby, and see these green arms in a basket, and the basket floats out of the sewer and into the Hudson and into like down past the Jersey Shore and past Miami and around and into the swamp, and magically floats its way, like guided with like all these amazing elements and creatures who are helping along the way. And he makes his way, this basket makes its way to the swamp. And Arlo is raised by Edme Duce, who's played by Annie Potts. You'll see in a second when I show all the people that are lending their voices. But this warm, lovely swamp woman who's, we find out, on the run. A lot of people in this movie are, a lot of characters are really broken and flawed, and then Arlo is almost perfect. So that's one of the things I really wanted to do, is tell a story about a character who's just so purely, genuinely like hopeful and positive, and then surround him with a bunch of like characters who just need his help. So here's Edme, and she raises Arlo, but Arlo is living in the swamp with like an 85-year-old woman his whole life, and he's 16 now, he's grown up, and he's watching the riverboats go by and wishing he had some kind of other connection, and seeing families and seeing kids and seeing music and all these things that just he doesn't really have in a tangible way in his life. As he returns and talks to Edme and says like, hey, you know, I think there's more out there for me in this world, and I'm not sure what, you know, I'm supposed to do. And she says, well, it's time that I share with you something that, you know, you came with all those years ago. And if you remember in that opening, he had like a little hospital band bracelet. And so she gives him the bracelet, and it says his name is Arlo Beauregard, and he was born at Bellevue Hospital in New York City. And he's starting to put the pieces together like, whoa, I'm from New York City, this is crazy. And she tells him like, look, it's time, you know, I've kept you protected all these years, and now it's time, you know, that you make your decision. She knows what the right thing for him to do is. It's probably to go figure out like who he is and where he came from, and maybe this is a chance to kind of jump into the world. And so music, kind of returning to music, like there's about 8 original songs, and maybe even more if you take into consideration like little snippets and pieces that we've created for it. But it's a lot of music, and it's a lot, maybe more music than you would expect in like a traditional, like even Disney musical where you've got like 4 or 5 like big songs. Like this has kind of got even more than that, which is I think really fun. And the songs are really meant to be, you know, turning points in the story. So this is a color key that we made for Beyond These Walls, which is just a super powerful, beautiful song, which I'm really looking forward for the world to hearing and seeing. And so these keys, Michelle Park and Margaret Wooler, shout out to you guys for all the beautiful paint you've done. These keys are a way for us to really see how the song progresses and kind of push these things into visual territory that we can like, you know, realize. And just to kind of point out, you'll see in a minute, it's like, if you look at the bottom, the color palette all comes from, this is Arlo's dad. He finds out his dad's name is Ansel Beauregard. It's his apartment. And so this dream is all in the color palette of his dad's apartment. So you would think when he gets there that it's like, hopefully there's some connection to that moment. This is where he was meant to go. So he leaves the swamp and he gets in his little boat and he heads off into the world, not unlike like Will Ferrell and Elf or Kimmy Schmidt. Like he doesn't have a lot of world experience. And so it's like a really great thing when he gets there and expects everyone to just be this, you know, he's such a kind, like positive energy. It's so much Michael J. Woodard, who he is in real life too. And you'd expect he expects everyone just to like return that and be so kind. And it's like a really, you know, it's a big change, but he experiences a lot of firsts. He has candy for the first time and he goes to like a pharmacy for the first time and he meets bad guys for the first time, people with ill intentions. And so along the way, he's chased by these two who are voiced by Flea and Jennifer Coolidge, Ruff and Stucky, brother and sister, who want to turn profit on this half alligator, half boy. And then he's rescued by Birdie. And Birdie becomes really the pivotal kind of piece of the story that he's missing, that he's, you know, he's kind of this friendship and this camaraderie that he really needs in his life. And so they journey together and start to bond, and she's really closed off and she's got a big shell and she's kind of like doesn't want to give up, you know, who she is and where she came from yet. And he's like, I'm Arlo Beauregard, I'm from the swamp and I did this. And I'm like, well, who are you and what do you do? And it's like, it's almost exhausting, but also so heartwarming and kind because he's so like genuinely positive. And so along the way, they meet all of these other characters, and some of them are criminals. Most of them, like I said, a lot of they kind of end up with these characters who are like running cons, and essentially like Aaliyah, who's the tiger girl driving the bus. She's like a 15-year-old driver on her learner's permit. She's like, what? Like, I'm gonna work in a coffee shop. I'm a tiger. You know, like get real. So they're doing the best they can. They're all good people, and they bond and. They have their moment, but Birdie's kind of feeling left on the side. And so when Arlo wakes up in the middle of the night, he finds her down at the beach staring at the ocean. And he's like, what are you doing? And why are you out here? And she's like, I love the ocean and I just don't know how this is going to work. And like, I don't know. She's not like ready to be around all these people and have these connections. It's not her style. She's really been on her own for so long. And so there's another beautiful musical moment, which you're going to get to see. Follow Me Home. And I'll just let that one be what it is. But then again, so just so you know, like all of these, you know, beautiful color keys, hopefully someday we'll get to release these. So anyone who wants to see them will be able to. They make it to New York. He's looking for his dad. He's in Times Square. And the cool thing about New York is like all these characters who kind of stick out like a sore thumb when they're like in a small town, like really kind of belong here a little bit more. So here they are in the big city and it's really fun. It's fun and games and all that stuff. And then he meets Ansel, or he doesn't meet him yet, but he finds Ansel Beauregard. That's my dad. It's so cool. And Birdie's not sure, and everyone's like, this isn't gonna work. But but this is where he was meant to go. They helped him get there, and so here he is at the doorstep of his father's apartment, or who he thinks is his father, I should say. And he shows up, and things from there are a little tricky. And so I'm not going to give away the story because you should just watch it. That's like the first half. And I will say though that it does culminate in this. His Ansel Beauregard is like a sort of he's a philanthropist and a land developer, and he's like rich and everyone loves him. And he's got this place where he's going to redo this, like, and build like all these brand new, you know, apartments or whatever, gentrified apartments. Who knows what he's going to do with it? And it's this kind of Coney Island-esque boardwalk. Part of the city in like Brooklyn. It's really based on Coney Island, but not quite. It isn't Coney Island. It's its own little place called Seaside by the Seashore. And so this is where the whole sort of ending kind of culminates of the movie, and also like where the series takes off. And so the series is really about these characters kind of then thriving in a new world and a place where they feel like they can create a home of their own and really belong. As I mentioned, I'll just do a little cast, and then we're going to do the clip, and then we'll just start chatting. I don't even know what time it is. I'm the worst, probably way over time already. Michael J. Woodard plays Arlo. So as I said, Michael came from American Idol, just a phenomenal singer. I think what you'll find is that Michael and Mary both, this is their first time doing animation. They both, had some acting in the past, but really like more than anything, I think they're playing versions of themselves, which is really cool. So we'll kind of ask them about that in a little bit. But Michael plays Arlo, and Mary Lambert plays Birdie. Birdie's like 13-foot tall teenager, like 19 years old, and she kind of becomes Arlo's big sister. Annie Potts, who you may know from like designing women in Ghostbusters and Toy Story, plays Edme. And Jonathan Van Ness plays Felicia, which I love. This character is like, obviously it's Jonathan Van Ness, a huge standout character. Really, really, really cool experience. Jonathan actually helped create the character, helped us in design, helped us in just sort of overall, like, I don't know, just modeling the character and creating a personality. And so working with Jonathan on that and collaborating on this character was so much fun. And he is who you think he is. He is just a total gem and positive person. And so we're really lucky. And Felicia is just such a fun character. And then Tony Hale, a lot of you know from Veep and from Arrested Development. He plays Teeny Tiny Tony. And Marcellus is Brett Gelman from Stranger Things and Fleabag. He's kind of the lovable jerk. I didn't swear. And Haley Chu, who plays Aaliyah. Haley's done a ton of TV since she was young. She's like got the most like vibrant personality, and she's also an amazing singer too. So she's really great energy for Aaliyah, the Tiger Girl, who's kind of the other character that's like really Arlo's age. Vincent Rodriguez from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, who's got a lot of like musical theater training, plays Ansel Beauregard, and that's really great. It's like all these kind of voices that come from different areas of the world, or I should say like genres and influence that really like blend together and create something magical. It's really cool. So Vinny brings a whole other palette to us, as well as Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who plays Ruff. It's like a childhood dream of mine to work with this guy. And Jennifer Coolidge, who I'm sure many of you know from American Pie and Legally Blonde, super funny, plays Stucky. And I would say like maybe, I don't want to say like 90%, but like 50% of the lines that Stucky delivers were probably Jennifer Coolidge just talking. So really, really cool to work with people who, and empower actors and personalities to like bring that, like with Jonathan, like just bring it, So that's the basics of the story, the look of it, the cast. I don't want to see if there's anything else I want to say before I play this clip, because I really love it. This is like partway through the movie. Like I said, Birdie's kind of sitting at the beach. She's separated herself from the group. She's not quite fitting in or feeling like she belongs with them. And Arlo's trying to kind of, he's someone who like breaks down people's walls. He's just so sweet and kind. And it's really the moment when we feel like this is going to work out. Like this group is actually, maybe they do, like maybe this connection is good. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to make sure the volume's up. I think it is. I'm going to disappear and play this, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Okay. And then get you all back in here, Michael and Alex and Mary. And thank you all for your kind words. I'm just reading the chat. That was so cool. That was so cool. Mary, are you crying already? I mean, I might cry. I don't know. Mary cries a lot. I'll cry a lot.
Just like the work that went into that is just stunning. It's stunning. It's stunning. Okay, I'll shut up.
Oh God,
Michael. It's a crew that cries a lot, honestly. Cool.
Oh, God.
Okay. Collect myself. This was a lot of work. Okay, so let's dive into it because what a cool song and fun moment, and let's dig right into our star cast. This is a thing. So before we talk about that song, I want you guys to tell me about the characters and like from your perspective. So Michael, why don't you start? You're Arlo.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
And Mary and Alex jump in. Obviously, it's a conversation, but just a prompt I got. I just want to hear what Michael thinks about Arlo.
Okay. So let me just start by saying I'm smiling so hard because I was looking through the comments. And I think when you've been living with this project for so long and just, the public getting just a glimpse of what's to come is like the most positive, overwhelming feeling that you could possibly have. I think I get so excited because I'm like, I just can't wait to see how it's going to translate into other people's lives because I know how it's translated to mine, So, okay, and with that being said, playing Arlo has been such an honor. It's been so easy to me because I feel like Arlo is me. When I auditioned for the audition, yes, Ryan told me that, Michael, it was like always you, because I guess my audition was American Idol, so
Yeah.
But when I auditioned and read the script, I was kind of weirded out in a way because it was so close to my life. The comparison is what is the word? Uncanny? Is that what they say? It is so weird, down to the dad situation. Okay, to be completely honest, and it's just the way he moves from a place where he's so familiar with to a place where he's optimistic about going to, but at the same time he's so unfamiliar with. But still, like his dreams and his drives and his drive and his passion is the thing that's like pushing him to get there without any regrets or without any fear. I think that was so creepy to me because I'm like, that's what happened to me in 2016, leaving from Philly to go to this new world, LA, where dreams come true, leaving my mom behind, leaving my whole entire family behind, coming out here alone by myself, and then meeting so many great people like everyone on this panel along the way. I think it's been an honor. No, I know it's been an honor playing this part, and I think I'm just really excited to see how Arlo's story translates to everybody else's. It's not just a kid's story. So many adults go through exactly what Arlo has been going through. But I just know that when you watch this, it's going to change your life. Trust me. But yeah, that's what I have to say about it right now.
Just to add on that, Michael's audition wasn't even his singing on American Idol, which is obviously is amazing. Alex sent me a clip, and it was we were like, who's going to play Arlo? We were writing music, and we just didn't know who's going to be this. Who are we writing for? What's the voice behind this? And then Alex sent me this clip, and it was your audition, and it was when they handed Michael his number, like you wait in line and you get a number, it's like not even like you going to Hollywood. It was like here's your American Idol like little badge you wear at a marathon, and he just goes yes, and he like holds it up and I was like, that's him. Oh my god.
Wow, right.
That's him. Like that enthusiasm and that joy is that's the character. That was it. Like I was like, yeah. And then you just watch, do yourselves a favor, watch Michael's audition on American Idol. If you haven't seen it, it's like the sweetest thing you'll ever see.
The best ever. Yeah.
Thank you guys. I'm honored.
Mary, what about your character? Tell us about Birdie.
That's so cute. I did not know that. That's so freaking sweet. So I don't know if you know this, Ryan, but at the same time I was auditioning for like this part where I was playing a fat girl, but it was like there were so many fat jokes about her, and I felt like, oh God, I'm like, I want to get this part. It's a big part, but I also I feel like it's a disservice to the community I'm a part of. I really think that it pushes fat phobia back 20 years. And when I read the script for Arlo and I read Birdie's part, I lost it. I couldn't believe that throughout the entire film there was not a single fat joke. It wasn't about Birdie's just strong and powerful and tender and thoughtful, and she's been through stuff, but she's a little guarded about it. And I just felt like what what a service to like the community that I'm a part of. What a service to like 8-year-old me. Like I don't remember like watching a show or a movie and seeing somebody that looked like me on screen. And I think like when we're growing up, I don't know if people are, you know, my age, but like I had Ursula, like I was never going to be a Disney princess, you know, and Birdie is my Disney princess. Like I get to play this. I'm going to cry again. It's just, it means so much. And I don't know if you know how much it really does. Like, it really does mean something when, you know, like your body is like constantly antagonized by media. And so to have positive representation and to have like a character that looks like you and isn't antagonized is the hero, is like the good one, you know, and like gets to have this beautiful musical number with a flower in her hair. It just doesn't happen, you know? Yeah. And so to be a part of that it just feels so, it feels as important to me as like when I did Same Love. Like it feels monumental to me. It feels pivotal and important. And I'm just really lucky. I just feel really lucky to be able to voice this character, but I'm also really grateful to you and Alex and Michael and everybody and the whole team, you know, for like making this, like honoring her, you know, honoring the story. It's just it's so beautiful. And I feel a deep affinity with her as well.
I think one of the first moments when Ryan told me about Birdie is that he said that I feel like she should sing like an angel. And that's exactly what you bring to this role and what you, from the very first moment, because you sound like an angel. You sound like you're giving her so much personality. And together with this other guy next to you, you in this song, you just bring it so alive. I can even say how much I'm touched after hearing this song for the 100th time. I'm still so touched by it because you're bringing so much realness to it. And like Ryan said, yeah, I feel like maybe that's the secret of the whole thing, that Ryan tried to let you be who you are and bring that to the table. And you both are so amazing personalities, and that's what makes our film.
Yeah, and I think, you know, in the philosophy of just making things, you know, like I'm a fan of, and I think because, you know, you come up as like a scrappy artist and you want a piece, you want to make something. You don't just, you know, for all of you CTN people who are trying to get into the industry or in the industry and you're working your way up, or you're way out there and you already crushed it. But when you're an artist and you're just scrapping along, you just want your voice to be heard and you just want to contribute. Like, it's my job as a showrunner, as a director, as a creator to empower other artists to bring themselves to the table and to not be someone who's just going to say like, you know, like, yeah, we, you know, I try to, you know, keep it all wrangled in, but like really when it comes down to like, especially with casting, like I just felt like Mary and Michael are just Arlo and Birdie, and then that's it. You know what I mean? And so you make choices, and I ask you guys to make choices and to bring yourselves to it, and that's what we're working with. So it's really I think become something more than, you know, just like an impression of a character. And I think why I'm excited for people to see that the acting in the reality, you got a little snippet of Michael in the beginning of that scene and with Mary standing at the ocean, Arlo and Birdie. But it's very natural, you know, it's a very natural thing. It's not we're not putting on voices, and we're not pushing, you know, into like cartoon territory. We're like here for, you know, trying to tell a real story that has real meaning and has like a heartfelt warmth and all of that stuff to it. And there's jokes and it's fun and it's like bizarre and all that stuff. But yeah, I think just to that. So Alex, let's get to you for a minute. Why don't you tell us a little bit, Alex and I worked on a couple projects now, but tell us a little bit about, tell us what was your experience. I think let's talk about your experience when we first started, because I think you and I my impression was that you were going to write all the songs.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. And then how
so-
did it, like,
so I was-
tell a little bit how it sort of
I was
evolved.
thrown in the room with this executive producer guy, and he said, "Hey, I have a new project I'm working on like since 10 years already. Do you want to be a part of it?" I said, "Yes." Do you want to write the songs with me? I said, "Yes." At that point, I didn't even know that Ryan is like not your usual executive producer. I was thinking I'm getting like with an executive producer in the room, and then, you know, we somehow, as many of you know, not every executive producer is automatically a fantastic songwriter. So I didn't know what I was thrown into. And then I realized, like, after the first session, oh my God, it's very different. Like, we were literally starting writing songs from scratch. And it was from the very first moment, we had like a great chemistry, and we were so clear about what we wanted. And when we achieved a level of, oh yeah, that's a great song, we were both able to say, yeah, but maybe we can do better. So we tried another one and another attempt. So I think since the 3 years we were working on the songs, we were like having, you know, we've wrote over like, I don't know, Ryan, tell me, like 30, 35 songs. And in the end, 8 made it to the level. Oh, there's also one little fun fact. So I was with the executive producer of the show in one room, but he was also my songwriting buddy. So I played him a couple new idea, and I said, "Hey Ryan, how do you like that?" Blah blah blah, play. And then he said, "As a songwriter, I would say it's great, but as an executive producer, I don't know if it fits to the story." So these were the very fun moments in our writing experience, and it was actually great to have him in the room also as executive producer, because right away we had basically, you know, the response from above. It was a great experience, and this is just a beginning from Ryan and my collaborations. We plan more things, and we have definitely a great chemistry in writing songs together. And I love I really dearly love all the songs. It's not every day that you write songs like you write for Arlo. It's, for me, something very, very special. And that you get to hear your songs with such incredible talent as ours. I'm very, very proud of this project.
Yeah, that's been the most amazing thing, to know that, like, when you demo a song, for anyone that writes songs, like, you know, like when you sing a song, the average person, and you're like, this is how it's going to sound, and then you get Michael on it after, you're like, oh my God, it's a good song.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to the question and answer really quick, but I want to talk about one thing before we do, with Michael and Mary, and Alex. Obviously, you can jump in. Let's just talk about that song in particular, and about the recording process, because one of the things that I really am so grateful that we did before we hit quarantine, was that we were able to record in person, and for you to really gel. So we did about like a week where Mary came out from the East Coast, and we did recording sessions, we did dialogue, and then we did music at Alex's for a couple of days. So do you want to tell us a little bit about, you know, Mary, that was a big song to throw you into, and I think we had it was like a really fun way, like, it was a big song to throw you into, and then we just kind of found it, and you and Michael really found it together and locked in. And so I'd just love for you to like share that a little bit, and before we get to Q&A.
Yeah, it was like, I never had that experience of having like in Alex's studio, the vocal booth has like a screen in it, so you can like see the people in the live room. So whenever I was tracking vocals, Michael was in the other room just like freaking out. And I'm like, why are you freaking out at my voice? Because Michael would go in the booth and like just go absolutely bananas on the track. And I was like, how is this person real? Like, how is this person a real singer? Like, that this person actually makes sound, does that with their voice. And I also, like, I had moments of insecurity because I'm like, well, Michael's a far better singer than I am. And so even like during the course of this project, like I would like text Michael, like, I can't do this. I can't do this song. I don't know how to do it like you do. And just getting, you know, comfort from Michael that he was just like, it's not about how many runs you can do. It's like what emotion you're bringing to it. But just having that connection in the studio and being able to really like, hey, what about this? And then I think like I tracked first, and then Michael tracked on top of that, and then I tracked on top of that, and we kind of found what runs worked and what melodically made sense. Because even I was thinking, Alex, that part where it's like like we
Yes.
did that there, and I think that was
Yes.
just like there's so much breathing in that moment.
this is what I really loved about the whole project, and about how Ryan, got all our ideas in. Like he said, oh, I like that. Hey, can you leave that? He always encouraged us to use our own ideas. Like, I mean, the demos were sung sometimes by greater demo singers, but also Ryan and I sang some demos, just because we possibly are not the best singers, but we definitely know where it should head, and you guys took it and made it your own. That was a big part of the procedure. And then I remember when you came up with that, you said, it's not what is on the demo, it's not originally what I would do. And we said, hey, how does it sound what you do? And then you came up with so many beautiful little artifacts and melodies. It was just amazing. And this is one of those which landed in the end result. Yeah.
Michael, what did you think about that? Like you came, I think Mary kind of hit on something cool. I think we must have put Mary in the booth first, because it really is started with so much of the birdie stuff. But I feel like we kind of like went back and forth a few times, and you really I got the best video of you two doing runs together. And Michael's like, come on, Mary, you can do it. Like, it's just such a beautiful moment. Like you guys inspire each other. So what did you like?
Right. I say that whole week was like a gift from above with Mary, because I want to say, even the recording process of like recording the movie and meeting her for the first time, and how I like ran into her arms, and I'm like, and me and Mary have never met, prior to, but I feel like that's kind of like the testament to art imitating life, or life imitating art in a way, because I felt like our energies just intertwined immediately, and it wasn't like pre-noted, like it just happened, and it wasn't on purpose. Like, I'm just like, who are you? I love you. Like, take me into your arms. Like, it was just amazing. And then when we got to the song process for Follow Me Home, I already knew who Mary was, and I knew what her gifts were. Yes, I'm familiar. Love you, Mary. So I didn't expect anything less from what she gave, And then when I saw that she might have been a little, insecure, I feel like me telling her, reassuring her that it's not about the runs or the things that you can do stylistically. For me, a lot of the time, it is really all the time, actually, it's about the soul and the place that you are singing the song from. And I think when you guys say that these songs suit Mary's voice so well and suit my voice so well, there's a certain emotion that only Mary could give to something that Birdie sings, and that's what makes Birdie, and nobody else can do that like you, Mary. So, you have to know that. And I just wanted to reassure her that day. And then the way we like bounced off of each other, that happened naturally too. I think it just happened. We weren't trying too hard. Like, whatever Mary would do, I'd be like, okay. Like when she did the like that, and then I would go in and do you can follow, like I would try to make it as easy as possible, because I'm like, whatever Mary does, I'm going to be able to bounce off. And I think the magic just happened. I don't think it was on purpose. I just think it just happened. Yeah,
it was exactly like that.
It was exactly like that. She'll be in the studio. I'll be looking at this like we're at some type of football game, and I'm like, yeah, you got it, girl. Like, you can do it. And then she walks out, passes me the ball, and I'm like, So it wasn't like pre-notated or whatever the word is. You
guys were unforgettable. It was incredible.
It was an amazing experience. Like, I wish we could go back. I wish we had more sessions. But
I know.
I know.
So share this movie with everybody, because we need it. We want to do another one. Everyone who's all the chat, get this movie out there, because we want to do another one. Cool. I think so. There's some Q&A. Is it someone from CTN want to? I think.
I can go ahead and jump into these questions if you're ready.
Yeah.
I'll start with the first one, which is, where did the idea for this movie come from?
Oh, it was so long ago that it's hard for me to remember exactly, but I generally write from sketching. So like I'm more likely to sit down in a sketchbook and draw pictures and then write a story about the thing that I just drew than I am. Maybe that's shifted a little bit, because I write so much more, like just actually write and type and write script now. But but at the time that this was developed, it was really like from drawings. And then I just was like, God, I really like that character. And then it just kind of, you know, you start to imagine, I'm sure a lot of you artists at home, you start to like assign stories to your characters and think about it. And that's kind of just draw a cute little alligator. At the time, I think he was in a top hat. I'm glad he's not now, but he was then. So.
The next question is, how easy was it to pitch this movie to Netflix compared to other studios?
I don't want that to be like a loaded question because I did pitch it elsewhere, but I will say, you know, when you're pitching and people are really into it. And I felt like from the second, because I had done a lot of development artwork for the pitch. And so from the second I put the character Arlo on, at the time his name was Alistair. We a lot of, you know, these things you change. It was hard to spell for Netflix. Alistair is a whole thing. Arlo's easier to spell, but I put the character on screen and I just felt the energy in the room go, oh, you know, like, yeah. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I'm so drawn by this character. I love this. Like, there's so much spirit here. And so, so when I brought it to Netflix, I felt like, and for any of you who pitched before, like sometimes you just know when people are responding, and sometimes, you know, you're fighting to get their attention and trying to keep them on the hook. This was one where I just felt from the second one, and, you know, Melissa Cobb was in the room, and I just saw the energy was good. Like they were listening to me, and they wanted to hear about it, and they wanted to hear how the songs were going to be, like how we were going to try to get into the world of, you know, doing a musical that would be closer to Beyonce than to a Disney, you know, music. Like that's like, those were, you know, so those were the discussions we were having about that. And so, so I thought, yeah, it felt good when I put that image on screen. We had a great conversation about it. And then I think within a few days we had just decided, like, you know, let's make this work. Let's find a way to do this. And the cool thing too was, like, I pitched it and I was like, it's a movie and it's a series. And when I had pitched it before, I think it was like people, that's a lot, you know? And when I pitched it at Netflix and I was like, it's a movie and a series, they went, yeah? Like, tell us more about that. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Like, somebody, you know, who's not afraid to try something and push, you know, like that's a big ask. Like, hey, can we get enough, you know, resources to make a movie? And then on top of that, can we do a series that follows it without ever seeing anything? Like, can you please do this for me? Like, that's a big ask. And I think Netflix was just like, yeah, let's jump in. So really, really cool experience pitching to them.
This next question is for Mary and Michael, asking, after this experience working on the show, are you wanting to do more voice work for animation after this?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just been so much fun, and like to be able to, like, I'm also really bad at memorization, and I've been taking, like, I did theater and things like that, and I acted before, and I've been trying to take acting classes to work on my memorization, but it is such a gift to not have to memorize stuff. Just be like, what's the line?
Yeah. I'll say that absolutely yes. This has been some of the most fun that I've had, like, ever. Oh my gosh. Especially, Mary, I don't know if you can attest to this, but Mary, when you grow into it, like, compare yourself from the first record to where you are now.
Yes.
You know? And
Yeah.
I think when I finally, because I've done acting in the past, but this has been my first animated project. And I think walking into it, like, I'm thinking I had to put on an accent.
Same.
And I'm like, I thought I was about to talk. I was really committed to the New Orleans thing, y'all. Like, let me tell you. And when Ryan told me that Arkansas, when Ryan told me, like, no, Michael, you can, like, you know, be yourself. You know, I was like, cool. But now, like, months and months after, y'all, I feel like soon I'll be nominated for an Oscar. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'll get behind that.
Oh, thank you, Rob. But yeah, I love it. I really want to do more animation and more acting. Period. It's given me a newfound love for it. I love it a lot.
Yeah,
really
totally.
Cool.
We're also getting a lot of questions asking about the writing process for songs. How does that work?
Alex, feel free to jump in. I would say, just to set the table for you. So like I said, I had talked with Alex before even pitching this. and just wanted, you know, his input and collaboration, and like, are you with me? Because I just wanted, you know, I love when you find working relationships and people you just collaborate well with and you really enjoy being with, and I know Alex is just so talented, and to have his abilities would just make everything better. And so what I did was I didn't write the movie in its entirety. We just had an outline, and then we started writing songs, and then the songs would bounce into the script, and the script would bounce back. And then there were times when I was working with a co-writer and brought him over, and then we would just talk about story and stuff and then bounce back. So Alex, I don't know if you want to, you know.
Yeah, it was like that. You know, sometimes Ryan would come to the studio and just had a story point, and he said to me, hey, I want this character to do this, and then at the end of the song be at that point. And so we just literally started from that moment. And I asked him about his vision, what he feels like. Should it be more like a ballad, or, you know, like just technical measurements, ballad or a faster song, or which emotion do the characters have there? Because it wasn't, you know, there was no script. We were just creating it, in the moment. And that was incredible to be a part of, you know, so fast on early stages in this project. We also had an incredible experience. Like in one moment we thought, you know, we should show Arlo's grief, and we have in Act 4 we have a scene where he's feeling very lonely, and you know, he doesn't know how to go on. And we had a great experience where Ryan started to sketching out next to me, and I was just working on the song, and we literally made a song in the same moment together and working on different ends. This was a very cool experience I never had before.
Yeah, it's a really cool moment. To me, it's one of my favorite moments. We did this thing where, you know, because we were working in such like I guess an organic process, and because I think I've never done anything like this before, and I didn't want to. First, I didn't know what to do, but I just felt like there were times when it was like the music will tell me the music will tell us what to do. The music was so strong, and it's such a powerful tool in the storytelling, and I think you'll get that. You got that from this clip, hopefully. It's like, why would you want to just write it all out in words and then try to go from there? Like, let's find that energy, and then let's transform that energy into, and then we bounce it back and forth in the script and stuff. But that moment that Alex was talking about is like a really cool moment where we brought in different versions of songs that we have touched along the way. Arlo's in such a negative place, and we turned all the words negative. So where all of the songs were so much about hope before, he's saying like now it's like it's broken, and like and so like a song like More, you've heard these things along the way in all these hopeful ways, and now he's singing them in a broken way. And it's so sad. And then we had because we wanted to do layers of vocals, then we started like saying, what if he was standing in a window and there were reflections, and the reflections are singing back to him, and he's hearing himself, and all these, and it's like
and these thoughts inspired me to use a certain different groove, and you know, it just went hand in hand. We were just inspiring each other and writing it, like while Ryan was writing the story and the song, I was working on the beats right next to him. It was crazy.
And then I felt guilty asking Michael to come in and sing stuff that's just like so sad. Because he's so like not that person. Like, okay, I'm sorry, man. This is gonna be depressing.
Yeah.
Guys, I've been there, done that. Trust me, I've had my damn day. Okay.
That's
What
great.
else we got?
Speaking of songs, this one person wants to know, has there been a song that gets stuck in your head more than others?
You guys, you tell me. I've had them all stuck in my head for so long.
There's one in the series that always gets stuck in my head, but I feel like nobody knows it. I can't sing it.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm
Yeah,
afraid of.
all of the songs get stuck in my head.
Yeah.
How many songs can we talk about, y'all? Because I don't want to say the one.
You can say it.
I can say it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Beyond These Walls.
Okay.
All the time.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That song, I mean, Well, Follow Me Home and Beyond These Walls are the two that are just the most powerful emotionally to me. that just I
Yeah.
feel like those are the ones that like hit you in the gut, and you just can't like, I feel like you can't unhear them. You know what I mean? Like some songs you can put on in the background and you're just like, it's fine. And I feel like those two songs to me just like really they're just take over something inside that I think is just so powerful.
They're powerful, yeah.
Yes.
And I saw someone in the chat say something about wanting to get the songs. I think that's going to happen, by the way. So I can't say exactly how, but we're working very hard to make sure that this soundtrack makes it out into the world.
Yeah, you kind of half answered this next question asking when the soundtrack's going to be available. But they're also asking, is there going to be an art book for Arlo the Alligator Boy?
I hope so. I don't know. I don't know how these things work, honestly. And that's one of the things, like I think with Netflix, to be honest, like it's and because it's such a young kind of idea, the idea of doing this project is one of the first Netflix original like animation projects that was done since they, when they really said, okay, we're starting our own Netflix animation. I don't know what they call it. It's not a studio, like, division. Let's call it that, I think. And so this was one of the first things that came in. And so a lot of it, we've been just kind of trailblazing and going like, how do we do it? I don't know. Let's call people. Like, we were like, there was no casting department. So Alex called his friend Vince, who worked for American Idol, and was like, Vince, that Michael Woodard, because Michael was still on Idol when we were trying to get him. He was
Can
like,
we meet him?
and Vince was like, well, when we can't talk now, but like when the show's over, we'll get you in touch. And then so we waited, and then once Idol ended, we got in touch with his manager, and it was like a whole thing. We just like normally in the real world of making movies, you just wouldn't do it. You would, there would be so many just paths that would go other way, go to agents and this and that and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like, we were just like, we're going to do it. And so with the Art of book, I would love to see that in the world. I think that our team has just done such beautiful work and so inspiring and so many pieces that won't be in the final picture that are just like so inspiring to me. So I would love to see that happen.
I mean, for all the people who are wanting to get into this business more, it's crazy. I mean, Ryan and I are already a couple of years in this business, but it was such a freeing experience that when you really want something, you also sometimes get to go like ways which are super unusual. Like we wanted this guy, and but we didn't know how to get through American Idol, and I was so lucky that we know somebody who could actually gave us the way through it. You never should give up believing in your dreams and doing it your way. So that's what I learned out of this experience.
I'm under the impression we're getting close to time, so maybe we can do one more question, and then we can,
Yeah, I
go
think
about our
maybe
days
the last question we'll hit up is, do you have any advice for artists who hope to work on something like this or create something similar to this? What sort of advice do you have for them?
Yeah, look, it's a long road, right? I mean, we're all like, I'm committed to animation my whole life, I mean, like since I was a little baby, I've just been, my head's been in this thing. So I honestly think that the way that you do it is just to, really believe in it and to really like commit yourself to it and to just keep trying to find ways to tell stories and to do your art. And eventually, hopefully people will give you the platform. If not, you give yourself the platform to do it. You know what I mean? You find those avenues and you keep pushing. And I think like Mary is an indie artist, and Michael's such, Michael does a ton of work, and Alex does, like, we're all of us here we're never going to stop. Like, it's not about, like, thank God that Netflix, wanted to support this movie and allow us a chance to make it. But we're all artists in our own right, so we're always going to be trying. So I think if you're really like, if this is the kind of thing that you love and you want to do, like, I would say, first off, I'm a student of this stuff, and I love, like, for the last, my wife can tell you, for the last like 3 years, I just started listening to pop music, like top 40, and that's it. And it's just like mind numbing at times, but like, I'm just like, I'm like, I need to know, like, what are they doing? What's the production? What's happening? Like, I so study, and then really dig into that. And like, and if there's any clues, I've been listening to country nonstop for It's probably the wrong decision, but I've been doing it. But anyways, so yeah, like, you know, that's where I would say is like, it's just one of those things that, you know, you just have to, you commit. I think Alex, you know, Alex is one of the most committed people I've ever met in my life. He'll be texting me at like 3 a.m. and I'm just like, dude, but he's where his brain's at, you know, he doesn't turn it off.
Yeah, you just got to keep on going the whole time.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So yeah, if this is what you want to do, I mean, it's achievable. You can, you know, and I think the other cool thing too is like, once you kind of get in there and like finding your own personality, like I've learned so much about myself and what kind of stories I can tell and want to tell, and like where I can go next in the process of this. And I think that's like such a joy to be like, you know, this deep into my career and then know that like I feel like I'm just getting started, you know.
Oh.
Well, we are just a little over time, but I want to give you the last chance to say any closing statements you might want to say.
I'll give it to Mary first.
Well, it's just been such an honor to work on this and to give voice to Birdie, and I know it's gonna change lives. This is a transformative work of art, and everybody that worked on this should feel just incredibly accomplished and proud, because it's a phenomenal, life-changing work.
Michael J.
Okay, want to give honor to God always. Thank you, Jesus. And then I want to say thank you, Ryan and Alex, for having me be a part of this. Like, when I tell y'all, this movie means so much to me, and it's been one of the biggest parts of my life so far. Like, I thank y'all. I'm so grateful and honored and humbled to be a part of this. Mary, I love you. It's an honor working with you. You are the best. I want to say this movie and the music is, I know we say it a lot. I know I say it a lot, but it's going to change your lives when you see this. It's going to change your lives. No dream is too big. The sky is not the limit. You can go higher than that. Okay, that's it for now.
That's Arlo. Alex, final thoughts?
I mean, that musical, that whole work changed my life completely. I think if people ask me what I like to do, what is my favorite thing in my job to do, like, I've never done any other work which has so much of my personality in the songs and in the score than this feature and the series. It has been like a life-changing experience from the beginning, and I'm super, super proud to be a part of it. Go and see it.
Yes. And I just want to thank our crew too, because I see a lot of you all in the chats and stuff. We just had such a great time working on this. Everyone stayed so positive, and in such a time where, you know, it's difficult, like keeping this thing moving, and to have the most like energetic, positive group of people that just really believed that we were still making something great and that it was worth making, and that we could find a way to get it done. That's been such like a cool silver lining to such a, you know, tricky year, to still be able to get in there and make stuff and to make things that are great. And so I just want to thank that crew for hanging in there and doing that with us. And as far as, I see a few other questions on here. I guess they disappear when people leave. Maybe I was going to say, can I answer these afterwards? I don't know what happens, but you can always find me on Instagram or something and send me a question. I'll answer it. Hey, Alicia Gibson. She boarded a lot of that Follow Me Home and Andy Kung. Okay, we should get going. I think this is it.
Yeah,
Anyone?
thank you guys so much for being here with us today and sharing this amazing film. I think we're all looking forward to seeing it. Thank you again for joining us, everybody, and thank you
CTN.
for this amazing panel.
Shout out to the crew.
Woo-woo.
Yay!
Love you, girl.
Love you guys. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay.